Okay, so now we're going to finish up the monitor with the... Basically, I'm going to start with the back panel, which is the most square. Okay, now I already have my UV map here turned off. Now my UV map, I can actually see the area that I'm going to try to cover right now. So it's just this back panel, and then I'm going to throw a black on this rest of the monitor. But now I've already pasted in my artwork that I want to throw on that back panel, so I'm just going to show you quickly just how I'll edit and position that and the things I do to sort of find the best positioning. Alright, that's pretty much the size I want. Now I'm going to lighten it in the opacity just so I can see it as I move it around. Where it's aligning. Now on purpose I've left the UV map grid on because now I can see the lines, horizontal lines in my photograph match up with the lines of the lines, line up with the lines in the UV map. I really like that ATM part here in the final art, but now that I have it kind of in position as to where I want it, and it looks pretty good, I'm happy with the positioning, and I'm going to go down to the mask and just select into this area that I've already posted my art, because now I have a good clean visible line for where the monitor goes, and so that I can just delete any part of the image that... So now I'm just deleting what I can tell is just not going to be part of the final layout. And basically that's going to go all the way to here. So let me turn on my UV just to make sure. Yeah, so basically this line through here is where the fold's going to be. So anything above that is basically not going to make it. So I'm just going to take it out. Okay. So now the opposite is true. I want to make sure that I'm not going to cover the side panels with this back panel artwork. So I'm going to go to my back panel artwork and I'm going to inverse my selection. Invert it, rather. Interesting. Now I'm going to just delete this portion here where it's actually the side panel. Alright, there's different things you can do if you want to invert your artwork so you can see it more clearly. In this case it doesn't seem to make much of a difference. I'm just using the UV lines, the UV map lines, to see where... Now that looks pretty good. Okay. So now I'm just going to go back. I'm going to deselect everything. Bring my artwork selection back up all the way. That looks pretty nice. So that now when I push this layer down, it's going to also lay onto the mask and then get cut and trimmed the same way that the other layer did. So let me move this down now, and I'm going to push it down, and I want to preserve the mask. So here we go. So that's that. I'm going to take off the UV so I can just see the artwork for itself. Yeah, it looks pretty good. That looks great. So moving on. Now we're going to do the back. We're going to do the top of the monitor and the bottom of the monitor. Alright, now I've gone ahead and pasted in the background black color I'm going to use on the top and bottom, but instead of just spending the time to go through and show you guys, I'm just going to add the edited layer. So basically what you'll Do is the same thing, you're just changing the perspective a little bit so that it makes sure that you cover the entire area that's left over here pink. So now, the reason why I did those in that order is when I use my magic wand and I select on my mask layer anywhere where there's not artwork, I have a selection for just the remaining areas basically. So if I go back to my layers here, I'm actually going to merge these down to one layer, and I'm going to copy that, copy, paste, and I'm going to hide my other layers. Oh shoot, it moved it. Alright. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now with this edited copy, I'm going to push that down onto the mask one more time, and then it's going to ask me to preserve the layer, and I will say yes. Now my monitor is finally rendered. But I'm going to make sure my UV layer is not turned on. I'm going to close this layer, and I'm going to click Save Changes, and it's going to apply it to the master file. And there we go. And next we're going to get into the screen, laying out the video, and talking about the frame. Okay? Awesome.